Alright, hello there folks, and welcome to the first Let's Play Nostale with Runehamster. Today, I'd like to introduce you to a wonderful little game brought to North America by Euphoria called Nostale. Nostale is actually little known right now, as you can see from these channels. Not a huge player community yet. A lot of people have yet to discover it. Really nice game, very simple anime style graphics, but rich gameplay that really makes up for it. You can have 3 character slots. As you can see, I've only really gotten started on one. Um, really fast loading times in this game. Um, Nostale is what they call a 2.5D. It's not really true 3D, but it's kind of insulting to call it 2D. It's got very beautiful graphics, very varied, nice animations. Um, Combat in here is actually fairly complex, more complex than I would have expected. You have nice buffs. I'm actually playing a beginner class, so my skills are limited. Um, but you have, the basic setup on skills. One thing I really like they did, I'm still in the tutorial here, and one nice thing they've done is they included a variety of ranged and magic skills that allow you to really try out the various classes or what they would be like before you have to make a choice. Because in Nostale, they basically have what I like to refer to as an anti-noob period. You spend about an hour and a half or 2 hours until you get job level 20 playing as a beginner. As you can see from here, you have in Nostale you have a battle level and a job level. Battle level is your basic level. It determines gear choices and so forth, and apparently gives you a lot of bragging rights. Job level is how good you are at your job. I am level 16 beginner, which means I've nearly mastered my job, which is great because at job level 20 you can choose your first specialization. Um, the specializations, excuse me, not specializations, those mean something different entirely in here. But the job classes are archer, swordsman, and sorcerer. With the swordsman being the tough melee character, the archer being the ranged DPSer, and the sorcerer being an AoE and support specialist. As you can see, combat in here is actually kind of intense. The individual enemies are tougher than I would have expected considering the childish look to the game. Um, One very interesting thing in here is the skill system. You receive some skills by leveling up your job level. They come automatically with the job, but also you have training, which speed, strength, intelligence, HP recovery. Training basically improves your most basic characteristics, and then skills are purchased and upgraded using money and CP, character points, which are earned by leveling up your job class. Um, I already mentioned specialties. Specialties are a really nice feature in here. As you reach certain job levels, after you specialize, you can do quests to receive cards. Cards are equipped in this slot here, and when you press a certain key, I believe it's the G key, you can actually transform into that class for quite some time. It's a point value for the day, but it's not, some sort of limit break. It's actually just a time period you can spend as that more powerful class doing more powerful things. The first specialization for swordsman is blade, which looks like a samurai. You may have noticed the pet following me around. Yes, I do have a sheep pet. Nostale has this brilliant system set up where if you click on a monster, and you see right here, there is a net by its portrait. If you are at least one level higher in your base level than the monster, you can use the capture skill and have a pretty decent chance of acquiring it as a pet. The 3 pet types are tanking, ranged, and DPS. It's really fun to level up the pets individually. You can have up to 10 different pets, though you can't have them all out at once. And you can actually collect companions as you travel, though I have not gotten one as yet. Um, Nostale does include player housing. I have been to my plot of land, but I'm not going to show it to you at the moment because it's empty. Basically, it's a place for your pets, companions to stay. Um, Nostale has a lot to offer to just about anyone, whether you prefer single player adventures or party play. There's just a whole lot of content waiting here to be unlocked. I'm going to talk about instances in the next video because it's such a rich topic. But the gear is pretty varied. If you like collecting and restatting items, you're going to have a lot of fun here. You can craft various items, upgrade them using rare drops, some of them from instances. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, as far as gear goes, you have two weapons. Every class has a primary weapon. As you can see here, I have a hammer out. And this one is used by clicking space or just double clicking on an enemy. That weapon for two of the three classes, Sorcerer and Swordsman, is a melee weapon. Then you have a secondary weapon accessed by pressing Z that for some of the classes is, for those two classes is ranged. For the archer, that's going to be your melee weapon. For the beginner, amusingly enough, it's a slingshot. Now, I have a lot more to talk about related to combat, and particularly instance combat, but I seem to be running out of time on this video. So what I'm going to do next is see if I can make a quick trip back to town and just show you the town real quickly before we're done. One thing I find very nice is, in addition to a fairly easy to understand and use quest system, you can see right here, the mini-map is clickable, so you can actually click and travel to different areas, which is great for lazy people like me. Load times are really short on here. That was a load time. I did not edit the video. What you just saw was the actual load time. Nostale has a pretty strong storyline you follow along. It starts out really well. I would actually like to see more single-player games with this much focus for a hack-and-slash game. These time spaces are actually instances. So as you can see, I've completed 6 out of the 9 instances that are needed to move on to the next act. They've got a pretty rich storyline, and because the NPCs are very nice to look at when you're talking to them, they're actually detailed anime-style portraits, which are very well done. The translation leaves something to be desired in this game. It's obviously not a United States game, or even an English game, but it's well done enough so you can understand what they're talking about, and maybe get a few laughs out of some odd choices for words. Right now, I am traveling back to Milano Village. I imagine the text is too small for you to see, but Milano Village is the starting area, and it's surprising how quickly you get out of there. The starting area is not very challenging, but after that you start to see some more aggro enemies, and it starts to get a good bit tougher. The graphics in here are just gorgeous. They're a little simplistic, but very serviceable, and they just really look great. Particularly for such a small download size. I believe the client is about 600 megabytes, might be a gigabyte. I was looking at several games today. But this is the town. You have various shops and NPCs to talk to. If you want to see one of the NPC's portraits right here, there we go. As you can see, very nicely done, very professional. Reminds me again of Ragnarok Online, because in there you'd have pretty simplistic graphics, except then you'd have these beautiful anime paintings and drawings for the NPCs. I am looking right now to show you, yes. Alright, if I have enough time on the video, oh, I see I do not. Alright folks, have a great one, and it was nice talking to you. Catch you next time.